I represent Pharma, and as we know, the growth of the Indian pharma has been phenomenal in the last 4 decades, and India has been branded as the pharmacy of the world. And within India, Telangana is the hub for pharmaceutical industry. I would like to emphasize, within the pharma sector, the API is Hyderabad is the hub for pharma industry because of the setting up of IDPL and so many other applications. So there are nearly 300 industries, API industries working here around Hyderabad, and almost 20% of the country's export in pharmaceuticals is from Hyderabad. And some of the units have become global units, and yesterday's MSME units are today global units. So my focus is to support MSME units, and I will talk about some of the issues being faced by the MSME units. Even outside the ORR, some of the industrial areas are lacking in infrastructure very badly, like in Bonpapalli, Kanjipalli, Pashamiraram, the roads, lighting, drainage, all these issues are very much phenomenal. And whenever there is an auditor coming from outside, or whenever there are, pharma industries are prone to audit. And if an auditor from US is coming, he sits in the car like this because unable to digest this kind of road system. So I think we need to improve the infrastructure. Now, second thing is environmental policy needs a relook because current policy asks for a ZLD in individual units. Now, ZLD in individual units is possible in large units, but not possible in MSME units. Now, we would request government to look at it and maybe provide ZLD at a cluster level. We are not asking any compromise on the environmental management, but a relook in the policy to provide ZLD at a cluster level. Each cluster, it can be strengthened and ZLDs can be provided. Now, in old pharma companies, there are regularization required for pharma buildings and road access because the roads are narrow. They were made under Gram Panchayat rules earlier. Building and roads needs to be regularized. Now, coal distribution needs to be relooked because the current system of coal distribution through Sringeri, we have a lot of issues because you make the payment today and the coal doesn't come for 6 months, and there are a lot of deposits lying, and whatever comes is also not good quality. So we would suggest a coal distribution network has to be relooked by the government. The recurring cost of renewals for various licenses needs to be, it has gone up multiple times in the last 3 years. And cost of trade license, which was increased in 2020 by a government GO, it was increased from a lump sum 7,000 rupees to on a square feet basis. Now, in a manufacturing unit, the square feet is very large because unit is comprising of manufacturing block, warehouse, and R&D block, QC block, and things like that. So when you multiply on a total area, it becomes almost 1,000 times. So from a 7,000, it becomes to almost 15-20 lakhs. So transaction costs are high and needs to be optimized to make the units competitive because this industry is fighting against international competition from China and other countries. So we need to relook at some of the transaction costs. We can discuss in detail later. Industry is highly regulated and involves multiple agencies doing the same thing repeatedly. So maybe some rationalization is required so that one subject can be looked after by one agency. Besides this, we have set up a skill development center on a land which was provided by the government in way back, and we have constructed about 40,000 square feet, and the training center is operative. Training center is now operative, but we want to also add the technology development center where we will create an incubation center and a gateway for a new technology to the small units. So some technology like flow chemistry or environmental management, say related to such technology, are not accessible to MSME units. So we want to create a technology development center where the small units can come and take the trials and maybe take advantage of the new technology available. Additionally, there are certain software related to pharma compliances, related to quality compliances, which are very expensive and beyond the reach of the small people. Because of unavailability of those database, it will be not possible for them to work in a global arena. So we want to create a data center to be available and to be accessed by the MSME unit. So we may need some support from the government for setting up the technical development center.